It might not be my favorite zombie movie, but the 1970s Dawn of the Dead original is the greatest zombie film ever made. Dawn of the Dead is the middle of the original Romero trilogy, and out of the three films, it's the one that I think as the viewer you can escape into the most. It's a movie that I think gets your imagination racing about, like, what would you do if you were in this scenario? Which is actually how this kind of non-objective based plot works. There's no specific main enemy, but obviously there's the zombies, and then as a running theme throughout all the Romero movies, biggest threat being other people. Of course, the movie is also a criticism of consumerism, how we can surround ourselves with all of these things that we think we need, but don't necessarily bring us the happiness or purpose that we're looking for. I think for people who are brand new to this movie today, that's kind of a weird theme to get from the film without the context of shopping malls. Like if you're 14 years old watching the 70s Dawn of the Dead, the mall kind of doesn't mean the same thing that it used to. Now that we're living in a post-COVID world, some of the hysteria and panic seems so real. It's unsettling how well George Romero captured the desperation of man. That part of the film just still seems so relatable today.
If we'd listened, if we dealt with this phenomenon properly, without emotion, it wouldn't have come to this.
Quiet down.
There is a martial...
Dawn of the Dead is a story of 4 survivors, right at the end of humanity, really, right at the turn of when the zombies get the upper hand over the humans. We get to the mall in the film, and from here on out, the heroes are more or less just trying to figure out how do we secure this location. And I think more than any other zombie movie I've ever seen, we get a very interesting development of these characters, where the people that we are introduced to at the beginning of the movie aren't anything like their versions of themselves at the end of the movie. Obviously, there's some dated visuals in this film, although I think a lot of the gore effects still really hold up. It's honestly the lack of budget that really shows, especially the makeup on all the zombies, which I'm sure you've heard other people reference before. I mean, I really see this as the perfect mix of horror, drama, and campiness. Because when you look at things like the amazing score from Goblin, and not to mention some performances, particularly by extras, that'll really have you scratching your head.
Hey man, what the hell you gonna watch on that thing?
I don't know, man.
It's just a perfect movie concoction that has gone on to inspire so much horror and Robot Chicken, I guess. I mean, this is truly a groundbreaking film that continues just to be relevant today, that still packs an emotional punch. Not only is this one of my favorite horror movies of all time, this is just flat out one of my favorite films of all time. Yeah, I have to give this movie my highest recommendation. Check out Dawn of the Dead, rewatch it, put on a warm blanket, make some popcorn, have a great time.